All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talking about all things about professional wrestling, all the stuff behind the curtains, all the action inside and outside of the ring, superstar updates, et cetera, free agents and all that, contract signings, contract expirations. So, make sure you tune into the GSMC Wrestling Lore podcast. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. We also talked about our my Thursday night wrestling preview. Step into the ring of TNA Impact, also the world of Ring of Honor. Today, we talked a little bit about the National Wrestling Alliance Power episode on the CW. We crowned new Crockett Cup champions. So, Crockett Cup obviously has been around for such a long time. Jim Crockett Promotions absorbed by WCW, then obviously, along down the line, it all ended up WWE. But no, it was cool. It was cool once again to kind of see the NWA. I love nostalgic things, and I feel like that's something wrestling fans could definitely relate to. Like, for example, when have you ever been to like a pool party? Obviously, you guys, my audience is full of very popular people. I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not just kidding. I'm not saying that you're, not popular. But, whenever somebody like, hey man, hand me a beer, then someone throws you a beer, you don't have that like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that's, or like the water bottle from Triple H. You grab the water bottle, take a sip, look around a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that wrestling fans only really can connect to other wrestling fans. And it's cool. It's cool. 1,010% of, love it. Absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and talk about our AEW, newly founded partners. Well, not newly founded, but, it's about damn time. Honestly, it's about damn time. This agreement has been kind of lingering in the wicks of professional wrestling news for a long time. So yeah, let's go and dig on into it. So AEW content is now popping up on Max streaming services internationally. It's not fully available on Max just yet, although it is it's in the future. It's in the future. It's definitely going to happen, which I love for Tony Khan. We are set in a positive direction for All Elite Wrestling to kind of further, their media rights with the Warner Brothers Discovery Company. Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and other pay-per-views will now be available on Max internationally. Will AEW kind of remain on Sundays with the WWE PLEs coming back to Sundays because of their contract with TKO? You know what? I think they will. Ultimately, I still think, because you do have Saturday with Collision. This could be a way for them to move back to Saturdays. If I was part of like an AEW, if I was part of the AEW creative talking to Tony Khan, WWE has established so much success on Saturdays for one of two reasons. Well, no, for one of two reasons. One being the more, kind of more practical, a little bit kind of like obvious. The less obvious is you obviously do like, come on, dude, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. You have UFC. You either have UFC fans or you don't. Heading toward the future, especially towards college football and stuff like that, it's going to be kind of hard to deal. It's going to be kind of hard to deal. And plus, you already have AEW Collision on that matter. And, for the main reason is, you're going to have Saturdays open. WWE moved to Saturdays because they're internationally. And with AEW signing this new contract with Warner Brothers Discovery, you're going to see a lot more AEW happening overseas. It's going to be just like the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if you see AEW take pay-per-views into Abu Dhabi, into Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, into England or Wales. Obviously they have their all in at Wembley Stadium. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go on Saturdays because WWE moved to Saturdays because like Mondays, that's the work week. That's when it all starts. That's when it all goes down. And not a lot of people want to, stay up to like 2 a.m. to watch your wrestling promotion, get done at 4, take a 2-hour nap, and then have to go back to work. That's why WWE moved to Saturdays. So I feel like AEW would benefit so much if they moved to Saturdays because, UFC's kind of twisting WWE's arm. They're like, hey, you got to move to Sundays. You got to move to Sundays. It's more prominent, it's more successful, but most importantly, it benefits both of us. And, AEW, I feel like they should take advantage of this, to be honest, being brutally honest. So Tony Khan wants a permanent streaming service for AEW and their fans. HBO Max, well, not Max, has been a hub for TV watchers and and all over the world. Obviously you have the Game of Thrones things. You have, just a lot of other prominent TV shows that a lot of people watch. A lot of advertising the AEW could kind of get into, definitely could touch a little bit of different grounds, trying to bring in new audience members from the age demographic of 18 to 42, that starred demographic that wrestling fans ultimately kind of come from. So, Tony Khan, the reason why he's heading toward Max is popular as hell. Everybody has HBO Max. Well, not everybody, but look at the success that WWE had partnering with Peacock. Look at the success they had, developing their own WWE network. Once when you kind of have that outlet where people can constantly watch your things, and now AEW has the rights to the Library of Ring of Honor, New Japan Professional Wrestling, and the CMLL internationally. It's going to be a juggernaut. It's going to be a juggernaut. You're going to see AEW probably grow within new heights that you would never, ever think that they would ever, ever reach in their whole entire existence. And they've only been a company for 5 years. Just because the WWE is the WWE, and just because AEW averages about 500,000 fans, which from a wrestling promotion that's only 5 years old, that's good. That's good. 1,010%. That's amazing. That's honestly what you should be heading for. That's honestly what you should be looking for. Not a failure by far, but AEW, promising things heading toward HBO Max. Definitely love this. Definitely love the move and all that. Like I said, WWE Peacock, you don't have to deal with spending money on pay-per-views every single damn month. I probably spent about $150 on pay-per-views for AEW. I watched Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door. I think I watched another one. I can't. I watched Dynasty, and it was cool. Money well spent, yeah. But with the streaming services now, you're gonna have the pay-per-views on HBO. It's on not HBO. It's gonna be on Max, so it should be good. Should be pretty cool. Should be pretty cool. So it's been rumored that AEW and the Warner Brothers Discovery Company did have a deal on the table for a while now. AEW content on Max is available, of course, outside of the United States and Canada. So, kind of got me think that why is Tony Khan waiting so long on, trying to pull the trigger on this, and he had this to say, and I quote, Tony Khan said, I think one of the reasons why I've waited so long is I think when we get this streaming contract figured out, it should be long-term. It should be a long-term solution for our fans. Well, yeah, dude, that's like, obviously, Mr. Khan, that's, something that's, no-brainer. And he had this to say, it's amazing that we've accomplished what we've accomplished within 5 years. Not only some of the best pay-per-views in the last several of decades, but I think honestly, some of the best pay-per-views, I've ever seen. And you know what? With this, I don't really have much to fight about this. I kind of agree. The WWE PLEs don't feature every single title match like it used to do back in, early WWE, late WWF, the Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression Era. So the fact that they put every title on the line, I really like it. I really like that they have promos, they have storylines that, kind of have a deadline. You kind of have to have this done in a month because once when this pay-per-view is up, something's got to give. And the fans know that. And the fans know that that's the reason why they're kind of kept on the edge of their seat for the longest time. Well, WWE thinks that they can, what was it? Money in the Bank, you had 5 matches last 3.5 hours. Just a lot of talking, a lot of backstage promos and stuff like that. And by all means, when you're a huge wrestling conglomerate like WWE, you can do that. Hell yeah, you could do that. Why would you want to, risk your superstars getting hurt? every single month during a PLE or travel issues. Like, you know what I mean? From a WWE standpoint, you are protecting your superstars. And, that's cool. But the audience is not really for it. I have not been for it. I hated WWE Money in the Bank. I hated when Drew McIntyre cashed in. The best match was probably, to be honest, the women's Money in the Bank match. And that's just me being brutally honest. You saw Damian Priest botch a kick out. You saw Tungaloa botch a low blow. It wasn't cool. And WWE has always had that in their back pocket, being, oh, we're the best wrestling company. Who's gonna touch us? Who's gonna touch us? Why should we care? Why should we add 8 or 10 matches on top? Yeah, if you want to have that same mindset, I mean, I guess you're right. Even though I hate it, you bet your ass I'm gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch 5 matches that take 3.5 hours. I can't say no. I'm a wrestling fan. So definitely, I loved AEW and that kind of aspect of it. Love Tony Khan. Wish the best for them heading toward Max. So AEW is on the right path. Definitely on the right path. Definitely getting this contract done with Warner Brothers Discovery is a huge, clap, round of applause. Thank God, it's going to be awesome. All right, guys, we are on our fifth and final segment. Sorry I kept you guys overtime. I know you guys are highly waiting for Emran's soccer podcast taking point at 9:30 p.m. on the GSMC Sports Network. Stick with me. We're going to talk about our wrestling news roundup. So, hey, do not go anywhere.